Introduction to Data Modeling, Report View, and Visualizations. In this lesson, we will take a deeper dive into how data analysis turns into data modeling and reports in Power BI. Believe it or not, if you were amused at all by the comic above, then you're already in the right frame of mind to understand data modeling. Data modeling is the visual imaging of relationships and trends in your data. By now, you know the entire purpose of Power BI is to turn data into decisions, and data modeling is a crucial component to this. In order for data modeling to be useful, it must tell a story of relationships, of performance, of baseline measures versus goals, etc. The kind of story and its relevancy will vary, and is widely dependent on objectives. The point is, your data visuals must help you see how your business is performing, and where the opportunities exist to do better. You've learned about Power Query, Power BI's built-in data transformation tool. Now let's discuss Power Pivot and Power View, and their relationship with data modeling and reporting in Power BI. Power Pivot is Power BI's built-in data modeling tool. It seizes on your data's most noteworthy relationships and calculations, and translates them into card visualizations using DAX language. You'll interact the most with Power Pivot while in the model views, which we will discuss more in the next video. Once Power Pivot has turned your data's relationships and calculations into models, it passes the baton, so to speak, to a technology called Power View. Power View takes data models and turns them into the powerful forms of visualizations that truly bring data to life. Sophisticated, real-time digital charts, graphs, even 3D maps can all be used to tell your data's story. You'll interact the most with Power View while in the Report View and in Power BI Service dashboards. To help us understand the model view, let's take a look at a real-world scenario. Gary runs a regional sales team for a sports and outdoor goods retailer. In the recent fiscal quarter, there was a significant upward trend in sales in his region. Sensing an opportunity, Gary decides to run the data through Power BI to find relationships that may be contributing to the ascending sales numbers. During his review, Gary runs queries in the model view and discovers connections exist between specific postal codes and buyer age demographics. His team then takes that information and further discovers that a major university has just launched a satellite campus in the postal codes where sales have risen. College-aged buyers and the traffic they bring have revitalized the area, drastically driving up sales of recreational goods. Gary and his team decide to take advantage of this information by targeting the thriving region and its demographic of young consumers. As a result, their overall sales revenue increases steadily over the next quarters. This is just one example of how modeling relationships in Power BI can and should have significant impact on data-driven decision-making. In any data sets, relationships always exist. Power Pivot can help you extract the right relationships to base professional goals on. How does Power Pivot accomplish this? By organizing your data into individual cards or tables and highlighting relationships that exist between them in the model view. From there, you can easily run queries based on overlapping criteria and come away with accurate, insightful reports. In the upcoming video, you will receive an overview of the Power BI model view. View relationships in the model view. The model view displays all of the tables, columns, and relationships in your model. In the left navigation pane, click the model icon. Table cards are displayed illustrating the relationship between each table in the model. Related tables are connected by relationship lines. To view all columns in a table, click Expand. To enhance the view, select the Zoom In icon. To decrease the view, click the Zoom Out icon. To fit the whole relationship on your screen, select the Fit to Screen icon. All table cards are fully displayed in the model. To show the columns used in a relationship, hover over a relationship. The related column is highlighted. You can interpret a relationship's cross-filter direction by the arrowheads along the relationship line. A single arrowhead represents a single direction filter in the direction of the arrowhead. A double arrowhead represents a bidirectional relationship. In Model View, you can also interpret a relationship's cardinality type by looking at the indicators on either side of the relationship line. A 1 indicates the one side of the relationship, while the asterisk indicates the many side of the relationship. For instance, the relationship between the fact and scenario tables is many to 1. To view more information and edit the relationship, double-click the relationship line. In the Edit Relationship window, the column information is displayed under each table, and the related columns are highlighted. You can also view and edit the cardinality and cross-filter direction of the relationship here. To exit the Edit Relationship window, click the Close icon. View and interpret relationships in the model view to gain further insights into your data. Edit or remove relationships. Power BI can automatically detect relationships when first importing data, but sometimes relationships between tables need to be edited to better suit your analysis needs. To view the relationships between tables, select the Model View icon. In the Relationships group, select Manage Relationships. From the Manage Relationships list, select the checkbox for the relationship you want to edit. To edit the relationship, click Edit. From the table drop-downs, select the appropriate tables. In the column areas, click the corresponding columns. To set the cardinality, select the Cardinality drop-down. Many-to-one cardinality is commonly used when many rows in one table correspond to a single row in another table. One-to-one cardinality is used when each row in one table has a corresponding single row in another table. One-to-many is automatically defined when you set a many-to-one relationship and indicates a single row in one table relates to multiple rows in another. Many-to-many should be selected when multiple rows in one table relate to multiple rows in another, useful in more complex data models. From the Cross Filter Direction drop-down, select the appropriate setting. Selecting both allows filters to flow in both directions between the tables. Selecting single restricts filter direction, typically from the one side in a many-to-one relationship. To make the relationship active, click the Make this relationship active checkbox. To assume referential integrity, select the Assume referential integrity checkbox. This selection enables queries on the data sources to use inner join statements rather than outer join, which improves efficiency. To apply a security filter in both directions, select the Apply Security Filter in Both Directions checkbox. When this option is selected, users will only be able to see data they have access to, while all other data will be hidden. This can help to ensure that sensitive information is not shared with users who should not have access. To apply the edits, click Save. To delete the relationship, click the correlating checkbox and select Delete. When finished, click Close. Editing relationships in Power BI allows you to control how your data is displayed and interacts, ensuring your reports provide accurate and meaningful insights. Add a new relationship between tables and columns. Power BI relationships allow filters applied on the columns of one table to propagate to other related tables, enabling you to perform more sophisticated data analysis across multiple data sources. Filters will propagate so long as there is a relationship path to follow. To add a relationship, click the Model View icon. In the Relationships group, click Manage Relationships. This will open a window where you can view, edit, and create new relationships between tables. Click New Relationship. From the Select Tables and Columns that are related drop-downs, select the tables that are related. In the Columns area, select the related columns. To set the cardinality, select the Cardinality drop-down. Relationship cardinality determines whether the relationship will be many-to-one, one-to-one, one-to-many, or many-to-many. Many-to-one is the most common relationship type, where many rows from one table are related to a single row in another table. For example, if you have a sales table with multiple transactions or many rows, and a customers table with unique customer IDs, meaning one row per customer, you would use a many-to-one cardinality from sales to customers. Use one-to-one when each row in one table has exactly one matching row in another table. This is less common and is typically used for tables that contain complementary information split across two tables. One-to-many is essentially the inverse of many-to-one and is automatically defined by Power BI when you set a many-to-one relationship. It indicates that a single row in one table can relate to multiple rows in another. Select many-to-many cardinality when multiple rows in one table can relate to multiple rows in another table. This type of relationship is often used in more complex scenarios and can be introduced ambiguity in data modeling. The next step is to select a cross-filter direction. Cross-filtering can significantly affect performance and the behavior of your report, so choose the direction that best fits your analytical needs. From the cross-filter direction drop-down, select a default direction. To treat both tables as a single table for filtering purposes, select both. This will allow filters to flow in both directions between the tables. This is useful when you want the tables to behave as a single entity for filtering purposes. Choose Single to restrict the filter direction to one side of the relationship, typically from the one side in a many-to-one relationship. To set the filter direction on the one side of the relationship, select Single. Note: for one-to-one relationships, the cross-filter direction is always from both tables. To have the relationship serve as the active default relationship, click the Make this relationship active checkbox. If you are using Direct Query, you can optimize performance by selecting the Assume Referential Integrity checkbox. To apply a security feature in both directions, select the Apply Security Filter in Both Directions checkbox. When this option is selected, users will only be able to see data they have access to, while all other data will be hidden. This can help to ensure that sensitive information is not shared with users who should not have access. When finished, click Save. The new relationship appears in the Manage Relationships list. To activate the new relationship, click the status ellipsis. Select Switch Status to Active. You can also edit or delete the relationship from the same menu. To exit the Manage Relationships window, click Close. Once you have created a relationship between two tables, you can begin working with them as if they are a single table, making your data model more powerful and versatile.